Hi everyone, just inside today. Trying to think of some stuff to talk about, so I thought I'd show you my Biolite and some of its accessories. It's a pretty cool little tool. Had it for a few years, I've used it a whole lot. So I'll go through some of the pros and cons of all the accessories, and then we'll take it outside and we'll play around with it a little bit. So first I'll show you what I got here. I got the original Biolite Campstove. It's been around for a couple of years. A lot of you have heard of it. It's kind of like the whole kind of gimmick behind it is that it be used to generate electricity just from the heat of the flame. So there's the kind of the chamber where you feed the wood in, where the fire is, and then there's also this little electrical unit here. It has like a little fan that blows in, feeds the flames with oxygen, and it burns really hot and efficient. And doing that, it also generates enough electricity to power a USB port on it. So this is how it kind of goes together. Like I said, I've had it for a few years. I've used it a whole bunch, and I quite like it. So some of the pros are it burns really hot and efficient because of the way it feeds the oxygen in. You can boil water really quickly on it. And it's an interesting design. I like that you can charge things from it. It's a pretty cool thing. Some of the cons are it is rather heavy and bulky, so it's not really for your light backpacking kind of type trips. It's really good for car camping. And one of the other kind of things I don't quite like about it is it does burn through fuel pretty quick. So when you're trying to, say you had a spot on top of it, you have to take it off, feed sticks in, put it back on, it's just a chance for an accident to happen. So this is another one of the accessories that I just showed. This is the kettle pot. To be honest, I haven't used it a whole lot for boiling water, but kind of the advantages of it is that it can be used as a carrying case for the Biolite. I do like that design. I think it's pretty clever. It works pretty well. So this all stows down inside here. And then it all nests inside. So I think that's pretty neat. That's what I use it for mostly. But once again, now this makes it pretty bulky, so really it's mostly good for car camping and that kind of stuff. And that's what I've used it for mostly. I like the handle on it. Well, folds down really nice. And then the other accessory I got here is the grill for the Biolite. Set it up again real quick so I can show you how it works. So I do like the grill. It adds like another kind of neat little usability to it. So it's got this carrying case on it to keep it all clean wherever you put it. I think you can use it as like a cutting board maybe or something as well. So it's got these two legs that fold out, and it sits on top here like that. It's got a little port here you can open to feed wood in. That's one of the pros I like about this, that it actually makes feeding wood into it a bit easier. And then you can also control the heat by opening and closing this, and where you kind of position it on the grill. So that's kind of enough talking about it. We'll take it outside now and play around with it a little bit. All right, we're outside at the wood pile now for the fun part. So I got a few things here. I got some matches to light it. I got a pair of leather gloves, because it's always good to have leather gloves around hot things. I have my Silky Pocket Boy folding saw and a fixed blade knife. The saw and the knife, if I want to process some bigger pieces of wood down, I mean, you can just use sticks and pine cones or whatever, but sometimes it's nice to break down a larger piece of wood so it burns a bit longer. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you how we light it. So I'm quickly just sawing this bigger stick down into some more manageable pieces that'll fit in the stove easier. I'm batoning these pieces down into smaller bits so it'll burn better. You don't have to do this. Just you burning these little tiny sticks or pine cones, or anything like that'll work just fine too. Even some wood shavings, help it light. Yeah, put it together now. This probe part goes in the hole here. The bottom locks in when the leg goes up. There she goes. You can see, just kind of pack some sticks into it, drop the match on, and turn the fan on. I'll just keep feeding it some sticks now to get it going. So you see it's still getting going. I'm just gonna keep dropping some little sticks onto it and feeding it. Let the flame get down to the bottom. It's just kind of burning on the top right now. So I'll just keep feeding it for a little bit. So you can see I got a nice flame going on this now. I'm gonna come around here, hit this button, put it onto the high speed. Really start feeding some oxygen into it. I'm gonna drop one of these bigger pieces of wood into it now. Don't want to forget about my gloves. So everything was really wet last night, so it's kind of a good real world test. It snowed a bit. So I got feeding some of these bigger pieces of wood into it now. You see that strip of light on the bottom? Now that it's green, that means that it's generating enough electricity that I could plug a USB device into this and start charging it. So it's burning super hot and efficiently. Basically no smoke coming out of it. So I'm gonna do a test now. I'm gonna get a liter of water and put it on the top and see how quickly we can boil it. So I got a liter of water here in the kettle pot, actually just slightly above the liter mark. So I'll put the lid on. I'm gonna throw a bunch of sticks now into the fire. Since it's burning so hot and efficiently, we'll just pack it real tight. And then we'll time to see how long it takes to boil. Okay, so that was at exactly a 10-minute time lapse. You can see this thing's at a total roiling boil. It actually probably was boiling a minute or two before that. This thing can hold a lot of water in it. And they actually make a French press attachment for it too, so you can use it to make coffee. It's pretty neat. So the last thing I'm going to show you now is the grill attachment for it. So it actually deploys pretty easily. You just open up these two legs on it. Here right on top. The thing I like about it, it has this little door you can open up to feed wood into, so you don't have to take it off. I'm not going to cook anything on it today, but maybe later in the summer we can do a picnic and bring it out and do a test meal on it. Okay, so now that we're all done, we're just going to let the fan keep running for a few minutes. It'll just keep burning down whatever's left there in the bottom. It'll turn itself off when it's all done, and then we'll take a look at the ashes and see what it looks like. Okay, you see the fan just went off on its own. That means it's all cooled off and all the flames are out. So let's dump it out and see what the ashes look like. That's all that's left. So that was about 30 or 40 minutes of runtime, feeding sticks into it pretty hard. See, all that's left in here is just pretty much just some white powder. Once again, thank you so much for watching.
I got a lot more to show you, so if you'd like to see it, please think about subscribing. Also, thank you for your likes and comments.